Hope you are doing good. I hope you have enjoyed the last session, or I can say day one revision of CA Final ISCA, chapter number one, which was the previous video. Similarly, today we are going to do chapter number two of this of ISCA paper. Same in MCQ format. In between, we'll be toggling to the LDR last day revision notes as well. For the last video of day one, if you have not seen, I request you to go to that. It's only for 1 hour that you can revise max of chapter number one. I will give the description in the description box the link for it. My voice is a bit low, but please try to focus on this revision so that you can complete chapter number 2 and you can proceed in your revising other papers. Why I'm focusing like that? See, ISCA is stable, but it requires lot of dedication and revision to complete. But other papers like AMA, TT, IDT are vast. They are lengthy, so you must have more time in your pocket for those papers as well. And ISCA, though it is small, it is considerably heavy weighted because you need to remember and represent it there. So I'm trying my best to revise you in terms of MCQ format so that you can easily revise the entire chapter and you can uh, go to the other papers without much worry about ISCA. Next thing what I want to tell you is that chapter number 3 I will be taking it around April 8th or 9th. Not, you'll not get that video tomorrow. You'll get in 8th or 9th of April. The reason for that is that the day, a gap of a day, I want you people to revise the practice manual at least once. It takes 2 hours per chapter to revise the practice manual, so that the two chapters with practice manual revision, the ISCA will be, let us say, 20% complete. So that is the reason I'm giving a day's gap in between the second and third chapter. Okay, so without much delay, let's get started now. Okay, so if we start with this chapter number 2, which is the most important chapter, and there is one misconception among the students that they take this chapter to be very important, but sometimes they forget to revise the last ended topic, the expert system, or the ending topics they forget to revise, and those are the places where ICSI will focus. Secondly, this chapter is important but not as important as chapter number 6, so you need to revise, but since it is easy, don't keep on revising the same chapter again and again. Okay, because how much ever we revise, if the weightage is low, we can't secure much in that. But in terms of easiness, the chapter is quite easy for you to complete. Okay, so yeah, let us start now. What is the chapter number 2 called? It's called information system concepts. Was the first bit, the management domain of align, plan, organize. I think this you have got even yesterday also. You got align, plan, organize are the processes of the information system frameworks. So it is what does this framework align, plan, organize show? Generally, align, plan, and organize. When we do these things, what can we find out? We can find the risk and how to manage that in the organization, right? So that is the answer. The first one, APO 12, manage risk, is the concept reflecting align, plan, and organize. Okay. Okay, next, information means what? Information, you, the basic definition of what is information. Information means process the data. Data can be facts and figures, but until unless we process it, we can't get anything particular out of it. So the processed data is called as information. Okay, now next, the 53rd question. 53rd as per the series, because I gave 50, 100, 150, 200, like that I made 50 questions for each chapter. Okay, which are the below are the components of the uh, system: input, processing, storage, output. So if we recollect the chapter, in the chapter we have, it discusses about the information system, right? So what are the components of system? We have input, then the input is processed, then it is stored, and there is the output. So all A, B, C, D will be the answer. Okay, let us see even the chapter here also. We'll get an idea of the last day revision notes. Okay, so the chapter is ranging between from 27th page to 45 44, so almost it is for 20 pages, so it is also a bit lengthy chapter, but it is easy to grasp. That's what we understand by seeing the chapter. Okay, yeah, here it comes. Okay, so what we have a classification system. It's important. First, the definition of system. System is a group of interconnected components working towards the accomplishment of a common goal by accepting inputs and producing output in ordered transformation process. So what is it? It is interconnected systems towards the accomplishment of a common goal by accepting input and producing output in ordered transformation process. Then what is the classification system? Systems are classified based upon element. There is abstract system or physical system. Abstract system is also called as conceptual system or model, which is orderly arrangement of ideas and relationships of that. Then physical system is the tangible systems, and based upon interactive behavior we have open system and closed system. Then based upon the degree of human intervention we have manual system and automated system, and depending upon the working output we have determinate system and probabilistic system, right? Then we have inverted information. We just saw information means processed data. What is data? Data is facts or values of results, and information is a relationship between the data and other data there. So what are the attributes of information? Means features. Attributes means features of information. First thing, availability, purpose, mode and format, decay, rate, frequency, completeness, reliability, cost benefit analysis, validity, quality, transparency, value of information. So the qualities of information, this can come generally for 5 marks question. We have totally 13 attributes of information. Okay, then what are the we just saw this one. What are the components of the information system? We have people, computer system is hardware, software, data and network. If we if you can see here the difference, here we have what is the component of a system. System can be anything. Okay, anything arranged in a process, which must follow a particular pattern is called a system. So generally system in terms of IT, it is computer. So we have input, processing, storage and output. But here is asking information system. Information system, one of the component is computer. So we have people, computer system, data and network. Okay, then what are the characteristics of computer-based information system? This also will come as an MCQ. Let us revise here only. There are 5 important components. This question can come for 2 marks or sometimes even 4 marks also. But if you write 5 to 5 points in that, you can secure the full marks there. So what are the characteristics of computer-based information system? We have all systems worked for predetermined objective, and systems are defined and designed and developed accordingly. System has a number of interrelated and interdependent subsystems. So what does it mean? No system works in isolation. If one subsystem fail, in most cases the entire system will not work. Okay, and the way in which these all subsystems interact is called as interaction. And work done by individual subsystem is you can say it's subset to the work of the whole, to the work done by the whole system, or as you can say in simple terms, the work done by individual subsystem is integrated to achieve the goal of the entire system. That is the characteristics of the computer based information system. Then which areas do we use this computer based application? Generally almost every areas we're using, but to mention a few, there are finance and accounting, marketing and sales, production and manufacturing, human resource management and inventory stores management. So these are the areas where computer based applications are used. Okay, so let us switch back to MCQs. Okay, a dash is a combination of people, IT and business process that helps management in taking important decision to carry out business successfully. So here you need to see, understand the important key terms. What are the terms here? First thing, combination of people helps the management in taking important decision and carry out the business successfully. So we can say it is it formal information, informal, manual, computer based. So here we need to understand that it helping the management to take information important decisions. Therefore informal system is something which is not used officially. It is used as a it is used in between the peer to peer, so it is not that thing. Management is never our friend, the colleague there, and we are not using any manual system here. And here management is taking important decision, and it's a combination of people, IT and business process. But in computer based information system, if we see here also, the computer based information system has people, data, network and systems. Okay, but here it's saying management, it is helping the management. CBIS will do the work, it will never help the management in taking a decision there. Okay, so what can be the last alternative? It's a formal information system. It's also called as like decision support system in general terms. Okay, so this bit is a bit tricky, just be careful in that. Then the main objective of the OSS it is actually a small mistake here. It is not OSS, it's OAS. What is the main objective of Office Automation System? So, is it support, discovery, process, and storage of knowledge to improve the operational efficiency of the enterprise, automate the process of development of documents like letters, reports, and memos, the remote access of documents. So, it is just a minute, people. Uh, I'm sorry, it is OSS, the print is correct. I just thought it is OAS, but no, it is right, because what is OS? Office Automation System will do support discovery and process storage of knowledge, and it will help in automating the process of development of documents. It will help in remote access of documents. The automation system will do all these things. Office Automation System will do this, but this Office Support System. So, what is the main objective? If I ask the what does the Office Support System do? It will improve the operational efficiency of the enterprise. So these ACD are for automating and for making the employees feel good and increase their employee efficiency. Okay, but this office support system, it is you can say the big one. It is for increasing the overall operational efficiency of the enterprise. So don't get confused. The A, C, and D is for particularly for the employees, but B is for the overall office itself. So OSS is somewhat bigger compared to the office automation system. Okay, then comes which are the following is a feature of TPS. I think TPS is a favorite for all. Recording utilization of resource, automate the process of development of documents, capture the information contained in document, source of input for other system. So you can say generally the features of TPS. Let us once revise here. Generally, what type of systems we have? We have TPS, OAS. TPS means transaction processing system, OAS means office automation system, KMS is knowledge management system, and DS is decision support system. Then we have MIS, management support system, sorry, management information system. Then we have ESS, executive support system. Okay, then this conceptually the information system has categories. Like first is operation level system. In the operation level system we have transaction processing system. Okay, so transaction processing system, the features are it can process large volume of data, automate the basic operation, benefits are easily measurable, and source of input for other systems. So this is the feature of TPS. Here what are we having? Recording utilization of resource. No, it does not record utilization of resource. It will process the data, but it will not record any utilization thing. Automate the process of development of documents. This is done by OAS, not by TPS. Capture the information contained in document. Capturing is done by knowledge management system. So the correct answer will be source of input for other systems. Okay, then improve communication, reduction cycle time between the preparation of message and receipt, reduces the cost of office communication, ensure accuracy of information and smooth flow of communication. If you say almost communication came thrice, so what can it be? What is this above benefits? The above benefits relate to what? It is trying to improve your communication thing, reducing the cycle time, reducing the cost of communication, ensuring accuracy. So these are the benefits of office automation system. Why office automation system? Because operation level system is a bigger one. In it the part the, if you can see here, operation level system has transaction processing system. Okay, and no, if you see here, the operation level system has transaction processing system, and this knowledge level system has office automation system and knowledge processing system in it. Okay, and again the knowledge first one is operation level system having transaction processing system, knowledge level system having office automation system. Office automation system in it has various things, like it has text processing system, electronic document management system, electronic message communication system, and we have teleconferencing, video conferencing. And second part of the knowledge management system has is the knowledge management system itself. So don't get stumbled up with this. So knowledge level system has office automation system and knowledge management system. Office automation has four in it. Okay, knowledge management system has classification of the knowledge, explicit and tacit. Then we have management level system having management information system and decision support system. Okay, so these are the, and the next we have other systems like the strategic level. In strategic level system we have executive information system, the EIS, and then later we have special system. Special system we have expert system, cross function information system, and core banking system. So let's once revise. Operation level system has TPS, knowledge level system has office automation system and knowledge management system. Then we have management information system, sorry, management level system called having management information and decision support. Then we have strategic strategic level system having only executive support system or executive information system. Then we have specialized system having expert system, cross function information system, and core banking system. So these are the classification of data. Now I hope you got a classification which and also clarity regarding under what falls what. Okay, so here we have uh, office automation system will be helping in communicating the office. Then we have operational system which is top one, so it doesn't provide for these benefits there. And management level system deals with the management. So what is the proper answer? Office automation system. Then management level system can be classified as, just now we saw, it can be classified as management information system and decision support system. Okay, done. Then which of the following are misconceptions of MIs? Before going into that, just once again let's come back here. We have seen features of TP. Let us go to the knowledge level system. We have office automation system, the first part of knowledge level system. So what are the different activities that can be done by this office automation system? It can document capture, document creation like word document something, then receipts and distribution, filing, search and retrieval and follow up of the document, calculation and record utilization and resource. These are the office activities which the OAS can do. Then what are the benefits of OAS? We have just seen the previous MCQ. Then in the what is the classification of OAS? We have the text processing system. It can process the text data and permit the use of standard stored information. Then we have electronic document management system, like you can save to keep the e-document and it can be accessed from anywhere. Remote access can be given. You do not come to office to take that document. It is available in the e-form. Then electronic message system like email thing. So what are the features of email? We have electronic transmission, online development and editing, broadcasting and rerouting, integration, portability and economical. Then other types of electronic management communication are fax mail and voicemail. Fax mail is fax, which is not, it has less use now, and voicemail, it is still available, which can transmit our voice as a message. Then we have teleconferencing and video conference system. These all form part of the office automation system. Then we have knowledge management system. It has classification of knowledge into explicit and tacit. Explicit knowledge is, it can be structured, formalized easily and available across the organization. But tacit organization is, it is often with some people, it is within their heads, which they try to provide it to the organization, like you call experience, how to deal a particular topic, or how to deal a particular kind of situation. So that is a person's knowledge. Though he can document it, but he can apply it better. So if it can't be set by a system in the organization, so it is related to the person's ability. Okay, then comes management level system. We have two, there's management information system and decision support system. Here you need to once remember and recollect the definition of the management information system. What is the definition? It is an integrated user machine system, okay, designed for providing information to support operational control, management control and decision making functions in an organization. So it generally supports the middle level managers to take a lot of decisions. Okay, so what are the characteristics of MIs? It's management oriented, management directed, integrated, common data flow, heavy planning element, subsystem concept, common database and computerized. So these are the characteristics of the effective MIs. Then what are the misconceptions of MIs? That any computer based information system is MIs? No, it is not. Any reporting system is MIs? No. It's a management technique? Not at all. It's a bunch of knowledge. We apply what we know. It's not a bunch of knowledge. It's implementation of the organizational systems and procedure. It is not a particular system, it's a method to do. Okay, it is a particular information system to help the management in taking decision, but not an organization system. And the study of MIs is about use of computers. No. More data in generated reports refers to more information to the manager. Manager needs accurate, precise information to take a decision. He does not have time to go through very minute things. Then accuracy plays a vital role in reporting. No, approximate reporting is required, not accurate information. Then what are the prerequisites of effective MIs? Like to have a management information system in the organization, what are the predefined things that you must have? First thing, database. Without proper data you can't use MIS to work. Then qualified system and management staff. The people must be qualified to handle the MIS. Support of top management. To develop MIS, it takes some reasonably good time, 1 to 3 years. So top management must support it. And control and maintenance of MIS. So there must be a one particular team dedicated to take care of this MIS updates and controls. So that is the prerequisites for effective MIS. Then what are the limitations of MIS? Means even though we have this management information system helping the middle managers, what are the limitations to it? What does it cannot do? First thing, quality of input is governed by quality of output. So if you want something better, keep something better. It is not a substitute for effective management. It will give you choices. You must choose what suits for the organization. It cannot quickly update itself. It cannot provide tailor-made information package. Suppose you say this happens always, but you cannot customize it for a particular need. Okay, ignores non-qualitative factors related to employees' morale, honesty, those things. Less useful for non-programmed decision, means unstructured decisions cannot be taken in here. Effectiveness reduces when information is on hold and frequency in top management, because top management may have different criteria always, and if the team does not provide the information freely to anyone, the MIS can't be used effectively because data is not complete there. So now let's go back to our question. Okay, what is the which of the following are the misconceptions? So we have just seen any computable information system or report system is a MIS. Yeah, there is a misconception. MIS is a management technique, bunch of technology. Yes, it's a misconception. MIS is implementation of organized systems and projects. Yes, it's a misconception. Therefore, all the above. So what is the benefit now, students? Can you just see? Though we have taken almost 16 minutes, we are able to revise the MCQ and the chapter number 2 simultaneously. Okay, then which of the following are a limitation of MIS? Just remember, in exam he can ask which of the following are not a limitation of MIS. Don't just read in a hurry and go at the exam there. Read slowly the question, because his approach is to confuse you people. Okay, which is not a limitation. Less useful for decision for non-programmed decision. Yes, it is a limitation. Effectiveness reduces in enterprise where culture of hoarding information exists. Yes, it is a limitation. Effectiveness decrease frequency in top management. Yes, so all the three are the reason for decrease, are the reason for the limitations in MIS. So this will complete an MIS. I know we are going a bit slow. Let us try to speed it up so that you can also do it well. So okay, next comes what are the characteristics of DSS? Okay, decision support system. Decision support system can be defined as a system that provides tools to managers. Both MIS and DSS provide tools to managers, but DSS can also help in solving some semi-structured and unstructured problems in somewhat personalized way. Means if any element is missing in taking decision, the DSS can arrange and give alternatives of what to do. Okay, then what are the planning languages in DSS? We have general purpose planning language and special purpose planning language. DSS will never ever replace the decision capability of the manager. It will provide them the tools only. So what are the components of DSS? We have user. In database we have user, database and model base. And the user, there is two people called manager and staff specialist. In database we have three: physical level, logical level, external level. In model base it's called brain of DSS because it is a place of the DSS where data manipulation and computations of the data is done. So it is the brain, the working thing of the DSS. Then what are the characteristics of DSS? Suppose decision making in all levels of management should be able to help in group decision making. It should be very flexible, adaptable. It should be focused on decision making but not on data and not on communicating the information. It should be user friendly. It should not. It should be. It should. Sorry, it can be used for structured problems also, because generally effort it is used mostly for semi-structured and unstructured problem. So it can should be used even for structured problem also. And impact of DSS should be on the management decision. So that is the characteristics of DSS. So what are the examples of DSS? We have cost accounting system, capital budgeting system, budget variance analysis system, and general support system. Even in capital budgeting, if you have seen, you do the calculation, then you see that you will take a decision of what to do, what not to do. But that will help you in taking the decision. But the system will not. So you have to buy this only, right? Same thing here. So okay, so what are the characteristics of DSS? Suppose decision making, yes. Easy to use, yes. Extensible, yes. So all the three forms the characteristics. Okay, then levels of implementation of database. We've just seen the database in the DSS, the three levels: physical level, logical level, external level. So just remember, there should be external level, but it should never be internal level or inter schema kind of thing. So here all the three are required for implementing the database. Then comes following are not the character of EIS, executive information system. Let us see here. Executive information system, the name itself says it is for top management, right? It is for top management who provides what need to be done, who takes strategic decisions. So EIS capable of assessing both internal and external data. Okay, it focus here is be careful students. He is asking following are not the characteristics. So if the management has to take a decision, it should be it should be able to access both internal and external data. So that is a characteristic. Then it focuses on decision rather than data information. Generally it should not happen. Okay, then EIS provides extensive online analysis tools. Yes, it provides lot of tools to the managers and and the above top people. It can be easily given DSS support for decision making. Yes, so if we see, even if we don't recollect the EIS also, we can understand that it is for strategic people who use both kind of data, who use tools, who take support of DSS. But the thing is that it cannot focus only on data and communication. So this B part, it focus on decision rather than on data and communication, will be the answer for saying that this is not a characteristic of EIS. Then information must remain confidential, should not form part of the EIS. Yes, which is the confidential information should never form part of the EIS, because it is in the EIS we use give access to people to have free flow of information, so confidentiality may be compromised. Then below is not the benefit of expert system. Before going to expert system, let us once revise EIS. Okay, so it is the strategic level system for support in the top management is also called as expert support system. So here what happens, the executive person will take the decision. Okay, so he will be using information. So to take a decision, the executive person will use some information. So what should be the characteristic of that information which he is using? It must be lack of structure, because if it's structured he can take a decision. Then high degree of uncertainty, then future orientation, informal source, and low level of detail. So if the question comes, what are the characteristics of the type of information used to be executive decision making, you can say lack of structure, high degree of uncertainty, future orientation, informal source, and low level of detail. Then comes the characteristics of EIS. So what is the basic thing the EIS must have? It is a computer based information system, of course, because it uses the information right from TPS to DSS. Then it's a computer based information system only for the top executives. It helps to extract summary data and solve complex problems, so the top people need not take time to learn the query language. Then it provides rapid access to information, because top it can access everything in the everything of the organization. Then is capable of accessing both internal and external data. It provides external analytical tools. It can be given DSS for support for decision making. So these are the characteristics of EIS. But there's one more thing. What are the this question is also repeated once or maybe 2 to 3 times for this 5 marks. The question can be, what are the practical set of principles or guidelines for design and measure, and what are the indicators to be included in EIS? So when you're designing an execute information system, so what are the set of principles you must bear in mind when you're designing and designing the system, and what indicators you must remember? First thing, EIS measures must be easy to understand and correct. So the executive information system, whatever you want the data to be collected, it must be very easy to understand. System must capture it easily. Then data, it must be clear. You must properly define what to be done. Then data should be collected naturally as a part of work, but must not add as a burden for the employees. Then data and system must reflect the objective of the organization. The performance indicators in the EIS must reflect everyone's contribution in a fair and consistent manner, and indicators must be as independent as possible. So everyone's contribution must be reflected in that. Then EIS measures must encourage the management and staff to share the ownership of the organization objective. And EIS information must be available to everyone, thus confidential information must not be part of EIS. And EIS measures must evolve to meet changing needs of the organization. These are the set of practical principles which one must keep in mind while developing the EIS. Okay. Now, before going to specialized system, let's once again toggle to the MCQs. What are the benefits of expert system? First, expert is a person who specializes in a particular thing. So we can't easily replace a human expert, because for other person may have similar experience but not the same experience. So if we give expert system, what are the benefits? Preserve the knowledge and put information in active form. Have balanced view of the organization's objective. Assist novices in thinking the way experienced professionals do. Effectively use strategic tool. So what is not a benefit of expert system? We cannot use it as a strategic tool. Sorry, we can use it as a strategic tool. We can preserve the knowledge. We can assist the young people, novices, to think as professionally. But one thing is that it is expert system is not sorry Expert system is not on the balanced view of the organization objective. So B will form part of the answer. So it is not the benefit of expert system. We are not bringing the system to with the balanced view of the organization. We are trying to protect the experience that we are having in the organization with the help of expert system. Okay. Then enterprise resource planning software, an example of what? So what does ERP do? What is ERP example of expert system? No, it is not specialized in anything. It will see enterprise resource planning. It is an effective software which will coordinate with various departments of the enterprise and make it a smooth flow. So expert system is only for a particular purpose. It's for a particular department, not for the entire thing. Core banking solution, ERP is not a bank thing. CBS is for the bank. Cross function information system, exactly. ERP will try to coordinate. Since all of the above is there, don't jump to the conclusion here. It is cross function information system is ERP. It coordinates with different departments and gets the work in a smooth flow. Then, which is not element of core banking? So core banking solution is software used by the banks in which they can easily process the data, and on the network the sister branches are also connected to it. Okay, so what is not element of core banking? In banking we can open the accounts, make servicing loan. Yes, it is used for decision purpose. I think this is the right answer. It used for decision and training purpose is not the element of core banking. Then core banking can do processing cash deposit and withdrawals, processing payment of checks. It can do customer relationship management, but it can't be used for decision and training purpose. Then dash is defined as a long term plan. What is the term? Long term planning for success. Tactics that are applied to manage business for increasing business revenue. So what is the then you can say you're having a long term plan for success. So what is the thing? It's a business strategy. Business strategy is defined as a long term planning for success. Then dash can be applied in database analysis and data support. So when you're trying to analyze data, what can you do? You're applying what technique in database analysis and data support. So database it will be a huge pile of data where you need to segregate, make proper classification, and then analysis for taking the decision. So what you can do, you can do data mining. Mining is going deep into the data stack to get the required information, make process the data. You are not storing. Storage will not help in analysis. It's not a repository, it's not a storage for analysis. It is not a data deposit also. It is data mining which can be applied to data analysis and apply for decision support. Then dash provides consistent and standard information essential in enterprise operations. So what will provide a standard information? So the question is a bit tricky here. See, business intelligence. Business intelligence provides consistent and standard information essential in enterprise operation. Business operation will not provide information. It will provide the way things must go. Business plan is done by the high people to achieve the objective. Business strategy is drawn based upon the plan. But business intelligence is thing which can provide consistent and standard information is essential for the enterprise operation. Okay. Okay, let's jump here now. So the different types of specialized system are expert system, cross-function human system, and CBS. Expert system is equivalent to a human expert. So it is used in different areas like accounting and finance, marketing, manufacturing, personal, general business. Okay, so why we need expert system? Because expert labor are expensive and scarce, and people can handle only few factors at a time, and information processing capabilities of humans are limited, and other concerns like health issues, getting tired also happens. But expert system can preserve knowledge, put system into active form, assist novices in decision making, not subjected to any human falling like fatigue or tired, can be used effectively for strategic decision. Okay, then what are the properties of potential application to be qualified as expert system? So for system to be qualified as expert system, what are the potential qualities it must have? It must be available. The system must be available for use and ready to answer. Complexity will be able to meet. It was able to handle the complex issues, domain expertise and structure. So these five things it must have to qualify as an expert system. Okay, now let us see cross function information system. Okay, now cross-function information system. So cross-function information system means it is that integrated system that combines information from various other systems and produce one supporting information. So for example, ERP, it works in combination with purchase department, stock department, sales department, manufacturing department. It caters, it coordinates with every module of the enterprise and takes required information, gives what is needed to the managers to take a proper decision. Okay. Next, Enterprise resource planning, for example, what does it mean? It means a process management software that allows an organization to use a system of what? System of integrated applications to manage the business and automate many back office functions. For example, there's a you can no need to think much about the example, but you can say automatic stock inventory updation, automatically sending to the required vendor the quotation details. So these things. So it automates many back office functions. Okay. So what are the components of ERP? Software component, process flow, customer mindset, and change management. Then what are the benefits of ERP? Streamlining process and workflow in system. So ERP will help in streamlining the process and workflow in the system, reduce redundant data entry, establish uniform process based upon the best business practice, improve workflow efficiency and customer satisfaction, reduce inventory cost and track actual cost, decrease in vendor pricing, provide consolidated picture of the business. So what are the benefits of ERP? Streamlining process and workflow in system, reduce redundant data entry, establish uniform business practice, improve workflow efficiency, reduce inventory cost, decrease the vendor pricing, and provide consolidated picture of the business. Sorry, yeah. Then we have the last one in the specialized system, the core banking system. So what is core banking system? Of course, the name says it's for the banking sector. So it can say it's a backend system that processes daily banking transaction, posts transactions into the accounts. So if you see, suddenly we go to the bank, give the check, it gets read with the system, and automatically they check, they verify the account number, stamp it, and they give you the amount. Or else you go and deposit the amount in the counter or in the cash deposit machine. Within 5 minutes, you'll get a message to your mobile saying the amount has been deposited. So these things are done by the reduction of human effort and efficiency done by the core banking system. So this one includes deposit, loans, credit processing, different types of services, automatic credits, and those things there. So for example of this core banking system is Infosys Finacle, Nucleus Fin1, etc. Okay. So what is the and one more thing, applying this information system to an enterprise, it will help in increasing the enterprise ability. So what are the three vital roles in the business firm does the information system do? It helps the organization business process in the operation. So information system helps the organization's business process and operation, helps in business decision making, helps in supporting strategic competitive advantage. Okay. Then as a business manager, for managing this IT system in the organization, what knowledge you must have? You must have foundation concept. You must have a great foundation as to what things you're going to use. You may need not be IT expert, but you must know what the data processing happens within the software there, how system transaction flows. So you must have foundation concepts. You must have information technology, some idea about the computer hardware, software, mainframe is required. Then business applications means how the thing IT will help you in moving the business forward. Then development process, what goes in developing the system, how much effort does it takes place on both management and the business and the IT side. Then management challenges, and being a business manager you must uh, you must talk to your seniors to get the IT approvals. So you must the knowledge which a business manager, this compulsory question sometimes for 4 marks. So knowledge you have to expand it. Please don't write side headings and come in exam. Side headings are only for your revision, and this notes is last day revision for you. So when you take this notes, I advise you to write a small lines beside it. I have left space there so that you can easily make the notes even more presentable for you. So what are the knowledge that the business manager should have for operating the information system? He must have foundation concept, information technology, business application, development process, and management challenges. Okay. And what are the primary areas where IT enabled tools are used? IT enabled tools are used in supply chain knowledge, mostly computer excel you can take. Then customer relationship management, supply chain management, knowledge management, retailing, and decision making. Okay. So uh, these you can say this forms an important part here, and you can say overview of underlying IT technology. What are the different type of tools we are using? We are using internet, we are using website, we are using intranet, software package, computer system, scanner, laptop, and printer. So overall, how does information system helps the organization? It helps the middle people to take the decision from top and implement it. It makes the lower people to do the with workflow with efficiency. It helps the strategic people to take decisions and see the stakeholder requirements. It allows the stakeholders to see how the company is performing. Okay, then strategically it helps the information system, it helps the top management to take decision regarding customer behavior, customer management, marketing techniques, new product innovation, and deployment of required technology like using MIS or using business intelligence, using data mining to make business efficient, make business effective, to know modern trends and to stay ahead. So information system with the accelerated technology being used in the business will help the business in growing. So information system plays a very vital role into all levels of the management. So this will complete your chapter number 2 but not MCQs. Okay, let's come back. Okay, let's complete the balance 30 MCQs. What are the features of DSS as per the question? External orientation, more analytical capability, highly flexible, providing integrated tools, interactive process, all the above. Yes, the DSS has all the features. Okay, then type of users in DSS. DSS has only two, that is manager and staff specialist. Therefore, C will be the answer. Okay, then dash can be applied in database analysis and decision support. What can you apply for analyzing the database and decision support? The answer I know you will be quickly getting is data mining, because in web analysis we can't do any database analysis in website. We can information analysis, after getting the information you can do, but for generally for database analysis we need data mining but not information and not design analysis. Then Dash is a multi-module software. Since the thing comes, you must strike it. Multi-module software system that integrates all business process and functions of the entire enterprise into single software system. It's ERP. ERP is a multi-module software system. Then we have Dash is a measure of failure or success of using information for decision making. So what is the measure that of using this information for decision making we were able to get a good result? So what is the criteria, what is the measure of that? Is it the reliability? Reliability means uh, depending upon our faith, or depending upon the quality, no, not quality I can say. So see, for making any decision we'll use information, and information, if it is authentic, then only we can take proper decision. So authenticity is important there. So the information is should be reliable for using for decision making. The quality will make an important role, but how good, suppose example 2018 qualified, say promoted employees, the data that is having quality, but now it is not authentic to use at this point of time for 2021. Then validity means the correctness of the data is correct, but still you can't rely, you can't have any authentic source of it. Data can be valid. Let us say Himalaya mountains is the, you can say the length of calculation. You have various websites showing that, but for the for the recent data you must to see the recently updated website, right? Then availability, information must be available. Yes, available information will not be suffice only if it's available. It must be reliable to use for making a decision. So reliability is a measure of failure or success of using information for decision making. Then sorry then dash is defined as the difference between the value of change in decision behavior caused by the information and cost of information. This is one of the attribute of the information, that is the value of information. So how can you define what is the value of information? One thing, we pay cost to get information, but in general, if you take information to take a decision, and again you find one more information and that will reverse the decision taken, then you can say the difference, either it can be a profit or loss. The effect of the change in the decision will help you in understanding what is the cost of information you have invested for. Then based upon the working output, system is classified as working output. Output is classified as deterministic system and probabilistic system. Okay, so depending upon the output thing, we see it is a deterministic and probabilistic type of system. Then dash system also keeps track of employee output or efficiency. So whenever the name comes employee output, we can easily say it is human resource management system. Then dash operational managers in tracking elementary activities. These can include tracking customer orders, invoice and tracking. So whenever this invoice tracking, customer orders come, we know it is always the operation level system. So operation managers can take the help of operation level system. So where you can say, ma'am, why can't it be transaction processing? So transaction processing is have a limited features. Okay, we know it takes only the large, it will process the data, it will store the input, it does all these things. But for to track all the activities like customer orders, invoice tracking, we will use operation level system, and transaction process system is a part of the operation level system. Okay, so it has a greater say compared to the TPS. Then TPS follows what? TPS follows batch processing as well as online processing, both A and B. Dash aims in automating the basic operation of a business enterprise and plays a critical role in day-to-day functioning of the enterprise. Basic operations. See, again, the term says basic operation. So, basic operations of business enterprise is taken care by TPS. Then, Dash consists of preparation of document, dictation, editing of text, and takes up major part of the secretary's time. So, it is saying documentation, dictation, editing of text. So, you can say document creation is a proper appropriate term, not document capture. So document creation a part of the, you can say, text processing, sorry, office automation system. It helps in preparation of document, dictation, editing of the text, etc. Then Dash automate the process of development of documents such as letters, reports, memos. They permit use of standard stored information, see one more keyword, to produce personalized document. Such automation reduces key effort and minimizes the chance of error in the document. It is text processing system. If you have seen one of the revisions in office automation system, text processing system is the system helps in development of the document, use of standard stored information, and reducing the keying effort. Then Dash capture the information contained in documents stored for future reference and make them available to the user as and when they are captured. So, what is it saying? Which system captures the information contained in document? So it captures the information contained in document, stores for future reference, and makes them available. So since it is saying capturing the information from the document, the keyword can be electronic document management system. It is not document management system, it is electronic document management system, because whenever they want, they can take it for use. The Dash has advantage of flexibility in terms of pre-recorded presentation and integration with other information system. So pre-recorded presentation is computer based office management system. So office management system generally stores the pre-recorded notes, pre-recorded presentation, excel files, and everything. So these things can be easily you can have the flexibility to retrieve it. So the computer based office management system helps in having the advantage of flexibility in terms of pre-recorded presentation. Okay, then Dash helps in avoiding duplication of efforts in storage and retrieval of data and information. So what is it? It is the database. Database helps in avoiding duplication of storage efforts. Then system and computer experts, in addition to their expertise in the subject area, should also have understanding of what it must. The system and computer expert design system, but without understanding the management issue, without understanding what the manager has to face, they can't develop a proper system that is helpful. So they must have the management concepts to understand the problem better. Then, a properly designed Dash is interactive software intended to help decision making, compile useful information from raw data, documents, personal knowledge, and business model to identify and solve problems and make decision. Very big thing. So, when since the make decision making is coming, it can be DSS or it can be MIS. But if we again see go through interactive software, so DSS is an interactive software, MIS is not. MIS, it takes the input and gives the output, but DSS is an interactive software, will help in compiling information, identify the problem, and make decision, and it can decision in somewhat personalized way. Then the language in most electronic spreadsheet is electronic spreadsheet is it is a common language used for calculation of data. So spreadsheet language is general purpose language, statistic language is special, but Excel sheet is general. Then nature of data stored, scheme of data, logic storage of data are the path of dash levels in implementation. So whenever this kind of question comes, read twice. It is saying nature of data, so it is classified upon the nature, scheme, so which level it is there, logical storage. When such thing kinds of come, you must understand that in the implementation of database, these are situated in the logical level, means in the up, it is not in the physical level, it is not, it is always in the logical level. Logical level means it is the calculation part of the database. Then dashes in the marketplace helps in establishing sales quota, responding to customer inquiry, referring to problem to telemarketing centers. Okay, so what helps in expert system? Okay, first one, expert system in marketplace helps in establishing sales quota. Okay, it can be done. Let us see one more option, ERP only coordinates between the organization, between the departments, and helps in back office function. But see, establishing sales quota, responding to customer queries, it is a front thing, it is not a back office thing. So no, MIS is input output concept, not much. DSS in decision making. So we can say expert system is the one which helps in getting the sales quota, responding to customer inquiries, and referring problems to telemarketing. Then Dash properties of an expert system will be used in complex tasks that requires logical inference processing, which would not be easily handled by conventional information processing. So what is saying, what is the property of expert system? What is the property of expert system which can be used in complex tasks that requires logical inference and cannot be easily handled? So that is something which is very difficult to manage. So availability is not a property which is difficult to manage. Structure is also not a problem. Structure can be customized. Domain is very simple. It only helps in getting the things at place. So what is the thing which is bit not easy to handle? It is the complexity of system is too complex to understand. It is difficult to get a system in track. This most visible parts of ERP. So in ERP, what can we generally see? We can see, no, in ERP software. We can't know from where to where. We only understand from purchase to warehouse it's going, but we physically can't see it. We can't see customer mindset. We can't see software component. So nothing is visible in the ERP there. Okay, only ERP know it's ERP. That's it. Then ERP does not work result in. So what does ERP does not result? It results in workflow efficiency. It results in customer satisfaction. Of course, it results in tracking actual cost, but it will not result in establishing different process. It helps in combining different process, but it will never establish it. Then customer relationship management is activity of, I think it is CBS, right? Core banking system. Yeah, core banking system is where customer relationship management is taken care by software. Then all information system in business helps in dash effective decision making, survive and thrive in the environment, make right decisions. So 96, all the above will be the answer. Then dash can be defined as an outline of how business is driven by a company to generate maximum revenue. So generally we can say that this is, don't here it can too happen. Of course, if we see, it can't be business process. Business process will never define how the business should be done by a company. And business, you can say, a business plan. A plan can be done to achieve a goal, but how to achieve will not tell. A strategy means the confusion can come between strategy and a model. Business strategy is, you can say, it is a particular defined it is not a defined structure. It is a strategy means a way approach drawn by the management to know what follows what. But business model means effective system kept in place which will be followed to achieve that goal. So business model can be defined as an outline of how business is to be done by the company to generate maximum revenue. Okay. Then 98. Dash is strategic resource that helps enterprise in achieving long-term objective and goals. So long-term objective and goals is helped in data will never give any achievement thing, we need to process it. Enterprise is not a strategic resource. Process is not a strategic resource. Process is will change depending upon the available resources and available information. So information is a strategic thing. Information is the main ingredient which help the enterprise sustain long term. Then, Dash requires tacit information that helps implementing decision taken by the top management. So Dash requires, who requires the tacit information uh, that helps in implementing the decision taken by the top management. Top management will take the decision. Sorry, will take the decision, but middle management require that information to implement the decision taken by the top management. So middle management is the answer. Then last one, by having dash, enterprise business becomes reachable to large number of customers. By having, generally be having a website. By having website you can reach. By having database you go nowhere. You just stick with yourself. By having organization chart you communicate internally. By having ERP you communicate within the organization. By having website you can communicate to external customers also. So these are the 50 bits including revision of chapter number 2. Hope you have enjoyed it, and please even revise the practice manual along with it. So we'll meet in the next video soon covering the chapter number 3, protection of information system. Till then, keep studying. Take care. Goodbye.